Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Why Are You an Entrepreneur? The Trials and Triumphs. I'm Maureen Edwards, the founder of 8 Simple Steps, and I'm welcoming all of my small business owners and people who are tuning in tonight to see my Rockstar Entrepreneur of the Week. Every one of you are rock stars. If you've taken on entrepreneurship, my goodness, you are in a totally different league. And so tonight is no exception. I have Jennifer Oknin, who is the founder and CEO of Shift Into Health. And I'm very excited about having this conversation because I would like to dive in a little bit deeper to what you do. So I'm going to say welcome, Jennifer. I'm going to go back and forth on this, but thank you for being here tonight.
Hi, Maureen. Thank you so much for having me. This is going to be fun.
I think so. I'm very excited that you're here. Now, I asked the same question starting out right off the bat, and that is, why are you an entrepreneur? Why did you take on, I think, the pain, right? Why did you take this journey on?
It's funny because I never thought I'd be an entrepreneur. My parents were entrepreneurial. They had a small company and I watched them grow and struggle to make payroll. And so when I got to college and graduated, I said, I'm going to go work for the biggest company I can find because I don't want that type of stress. So I worked in corporate at GE for 17 years. And it was amazing. Oh my gosh, love that experience. Love the people I meet globally. Got to work with so many amazing people and learn so much. There was so much diversity of thought and background. However, I realized that I really was kind of hitting a ceiling, not in terms of maybe promotability, but just in terms of really what I wanted to do. I kind of woke up and realized that, I don't want to do this for the next 20, 30, 40 years. I was too hyper-focused on the company. I'm very type A. I'm very dedicated, right? So I get very tunnel visioned. And, you wake up after going through your 20s and 30s and you're running up the corporate ladder and you're doing all the initiatives and you're saying yes to whatever they give you. And then you're like, I haven't seen my friends. I'm not traveling. I was not well-rounded. So that led me to just kind of looking to see what was up and around. But then really a health transformation with my weight and my health kind of woke me up to the idea that maybe I could leave and do something a little bit different. And that led me into actually using network marketing as a vehicle to leave GE, which so many people thought I was completely nuts.
Well, network marketing has a little bit of a reputation. It can be really, really good or
really, really terrible. Exactly. Yeah. And I think a lot of it, what I tell people is, look, it depends on who you are. If you're an amazing, diligent, organized, thoughtful person who's really trying to do it to help other people and you bring all your business skills to it, you're not going to change overnight into some crazy person, right? So for me, it did two things. Number one is it gave me a pathway to leave because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. I just knew I needed to make a change. It really got me into personal and professional development because network marketing, I think that's one of the best things about the industry is all the growth, right? And so when you're going from 17 years in corporate to thinking about the entrepreneurial path, there's a lot of stuff you have to go through: mindset, personal development, where do you want to be? So it was wonderful for that. And then ultimately, it just kind of led me to where I am now, which is really focusing my business. I'm a certified integrative health practitioner. Think about that as like a holistic health coach that takes the best of like ancient wisdom and modern science and technology and puts it all together to look at somebody holistically to deal with chronic issues. And so even though I'm still have my network marketing business and I still use some of the products within my practice, now I'm really focused on building out my practice in a new and different way, which is really exciting.
I think it's great because you're talking about scaling, but I want to back up and ask you a question. I mean, I was very similar story. I had no intention of being an entrepreneur and I left corporate, and I loved how you called yourself like a corporate dropout. And now I say I'm completely unemployable, right?
Yes, for sure.
We're completely unemployable. Yes. But I guess my question for you is, what did you find to be the most difficult leaving corporate and then all of a sudden having your own business and going into entrepreneurship? For some of those people out there who are thinking about doing this or already there,
Sure.
What did you find hard?
I think it was the unpredictability, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your risk tolerance has got to be pretty strong. You got to have pretty strong stomach in terms of, if you don't get clients, there's no money coming in, right?
Exactly.
And so how I tried to mitigate that is when I first started dabbling in the idea of network marketing, I started doing it, but I did it on the side. And I kept my corporate job for 2 years where I built that skill up. And now I came out of the closet with my boss, with my team. GE has this amazing process, or they used to, called Session D, where, go over all the integrity stuff. And so I came out and said, look, I've got my own separate computer. I've got my separate phone. I'm not using any resources. I'm not doing this on any company time. If you see my performance slipping, let me know. I will remedy it. But in the meantime, let's talk about wellness. And it was really funny because I had a lot of GE clients, which was amazing. But again, I took the time. So I think from a risk mitigation standpoint, I knew I had to be patient.
Mm-hmm.
And so but still, when you make that final leap, it was tricky because then you're on your own. I was running a global team. I had a lot of people working for me. I had a lot of support teams I could draw on. Now, all of a sudden, I'm a team of one because, yes, you're in network marketing, you're working with a team, but still, at the end of the day, if you don't get up, if you're not making the calls, if your butt isn't in the chair, then nothing's going to happen, right? So,
well, I think I hear this a lot. It is keep your corporate job, work off of their paycheck so that you can get all the mistakes out of the way, the kinks out of the way, do your market research, get a few clients. And then when this side hustle has become reality, then you can take the leap. And I hate the word side hustle because I think side hustle should be like an exit plan. It's not like you just want to get an extra vacation, so you'll pick up some gigs, right? It's really, I got to come up with a different name because exactly what you did was a side hustle with an exit plan. Mm-hmm. You knew that this was going to happen.
Eventually,
yeah. And I'm glad you were so patient with it because I think sometimes we jump into it without putting all of our ducks in a row. And that can be that's tricky to navigate too, because too many moving parts.
Yeah.
So tell me, so far exactly what you do. Who do you serve in this business? Because you obviously left network marketing, right? And you've scaled and you've kind of pivoted and branched out. How did that progression happen?
Well, I still have network marketing. I still have clients that are just network marketing clients, but I'm just not actively doing the team building or the business aspect of it. So because the products for Isogenics are wellness products, so I use those with my clients. So I'm still very much part of Isogenics, but I'm just more what they used to call individual contributor, not recruiting people to build a team, right? So that does make it very different. But who I serve is professional C-suite women, 40 plus, who want to lose weight. They want to balance their hormones. They want to lose the brain fog and just get back to feeling, with a simple plan, get back to feeling healthy, sexy, and energized. Because
that's a nice tagline.
Thank you.
Healthy, sexy, and energized.
Yeah. Almost every woman I talk to is exhausted. Yeah. She's stressed. She's exhausted. She's overwhelmed. She's not taking care of herself. She does not have time to go figure out how to do it. Right? If you've got a woman who's managing multiple levels of an organization, she's on the phone with 3 different regions a day. She's also taking care of the kids' birthday parties, right? And she's still taking care of a majority of the home stuff, because we know it really does happen. Then she needs something simple. She needs somebody she can trust. She needs somebody who understands where she is. And that was me. So really, my ideal client is me. Because
that's good. You know the market research really well, don't you?
Yeah.
So you know exactly who you're looking for.
Yes, and I try and speak to them through my social media, because there's a lot of sameness out there in this
Right?
space. So, and at first, you're like, oh, well, I'm talking about food. I can help everybody. Well, not everybody's going to want to work with me. And I shouldn't want to work with everybody. Right. And because there are levels of your experience or expectations. So I think one of the best things I ever did was niche down. So you go deep, you go deep to go bigger.
Love, love, love what you're saying, because this is what I do all day long, because people are so excited about their services, so excited about a product that they think the whole world can do that. And I said, when you serve everybody, you serve nobody. So let's target it. So thank you, Jennifer. That is like the most amazing advice, not just because I love it, but because it's truth.
It's true.
It is truth. The more narrow you get, the easier it'll be to talk to them. And you were very specific. Over 40, right? C-suite, serious about, focusing in on stuff that you're just too busy to figure out on your own, but you're dedicated to getting this done. So you have specifics. And I say to people out there, please, the first step in building a strong foundation for a company is knowing exactly your audience better than they know themselves. So kudos to you. I did not set her up for this, everybody. Okay. I didn't tell her what to say before she came on.
I had some really great business coaches. So, and
goodness.
Yes. Business coaching is worth investing in. So
yes, please tell people that. And I see some people who just like to learn a lot. They come to every master class, every workshop. They get free mentors, they get free everything. And at the end of the day, if they're not implementing it and implementing the right stuff, it's not really going to move the needle.
I was that person for a little bit, if I could comment on that. And here's what I've found is that there's a million people out there offering a million masterclasses.
Yeah.
But each one has a different strategy. And you're just going to go squirrel brain everything just because it's free. That is not the way to develop a strategy. If you're going to, if you know what your business is, right? You know kind of what you want to do, right? You're developing an offer, a product, service, whatever it is. You need to find one person, one group, organization to really work with and go deep with them. And, research that person. Go to their masterclass, right? Try to get to know them, find out what they're about, see if you can get some good testimonials, but then get focused and get to work. Because if you're constantly jumping around between Mary, Jeff, Richard, and whoever, then you're just going to you're going to get confused yourself, and you're going to end up treading water and not make any progress whatsoever.
Absolutely 100%. I see it and live it every single day. And it's frustrating because I'm all about knowledge. Get as much as you can, but at the same time, take that and streamline it and put that process into place if it's going to work for your business. So I love the fact that you're saying that. And again, everybody, you know what I do. I did not set her up for this. So, but
Marina and I haven't even talked before. So this is
we've communicated through LinkedIn, and I'm just loving everything you're saying. So you're just so spot on with this wisdom. And so thank you for that. But you mentioned something else that I picked up on, because I say to people all the time, you've got to differentiate yourself, because you even said there are a million people who do what I do. So what is it about you that makes you different?
Well, I don't know if it's so much about me that's different, but it's how I'm communicating to people.
Okay.
So with that specificity, you have to put it out there so somebody can see themselves in your message. So for example, if you're putting out a post out there, like a typical wellness coach, and you're just saying, oh, if you just want to lose weight or whatever, okay, well, that's great. But it's very vanilla. You're not going to attract anybody to it. But if you put out something where then somebody gets on the phone with you and says, you know what? I read what you put, and that was exactly me. I knew I had to talk to you. Boom. All of a sudden, you are the person. You have instant credibility to them. I think the first time that happened, it was a line of saying, I was the original run on Dunkin' girl. I would have a large Dunkin' Donuts coffee, sip on it all morning, and then I'd have a couple Diet Cokes in the afternoon. And that's how I got through my day. And this woman was like, that is me. She's like, I am drinking way too much coffee. There's got to be something else I can do. So you got it. So you have to be specific in how you're talking to somebody. And then they can see then what is that unique brilliance that you are bringing to the table.
I love that. Absolutely love it. And you would hate me. I drink 12 cups of coffee a day.
Girl,
So
we gotta talk.
Don't judge me.
I'm getting you for an appointment after this.
I may need one, actually. We will talk after this.
Perfect.
I have, yeah. So your message does speak to me as well. And so I love the fact that really your marketing is messaging, messaging, messaging. And so where do you feel like your focus is in marketing? Like, how do you get your clients some of the best platforms you're working on? What are some of your tactics that you're doing out there in campaigns?
Sure. So my strategy right now is very, very simple. It's one offer, one message, one platform. And I'm on it constantly. I am on LinkedIn 100%. All my clients come from LinkedIn or referrals. That's it. Because until you get that right, until you manage that right, until you get great on that one platform, don't be monkeying around anywhere else, right? Stay off the TikTok, stay off the Instagram, whatever it is. And I used to try to be on everything. I was on Instagram, I was on Facebook, and I was on LinkedIn. And Instagram is the first thing I dropped because there's just too much of that health and wellness space. And honestly, it was too young for who I wanted to deal with. I don't want to coach the next bikini stage person. That's not who I talk to, right? And then Facebook, it just became honestly, it became a distraction to really who I wanted to talk to on LinkedIn. My people are here. And so this is where I am. And so when I can stay focused that way, it just makes everything so much easier. And it takes away all that pressure that, oh my gosh, I have to be everywhere. I feel like I am not doing reels, people. That's not me. I'm not right now. I'm just not. So it's email and it's LinkedIn and I have my website.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love that you are here tonight. No wonder you've been in business 8 years because the advice you're giving out there is so spot on. I say to people, go where your customers are. You're doing it, right? Tell them what they need to hear. You're doing it. Don't overextend yourself and run all over the place. You just nail it. And I will tell you, I'm ready to drop Instagram. I only went on there because I'm on Clubhouse and they will not allow you to connect anything unless you're on Instagram, but I had never been on it before. And quite frankly, I could drop that one very easily.
I thought about Clubhouse.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of health and wellness in there.
There is. And then I'm like, nope, it's a distraction. It's a distraction. So I just dropped it. So yeah, the next shiny object, I have to be very careful about that. So that squirrel brain kicking in. But so one message, one offer, one platform. And then along with it, I think you asked me what makes me unique. Honestly, the functional and the naturopath space for wellness is really growing by leaps and bounds. Because when you think about somebody who's tired all the time, when you think about somebody who chronically can't lose weight, when you think about people with hormone issues, I am not anti-conventional medicine. I break my arm, I want to go to the emergency room or urgent care, right? I think I'm not anti. However, for chronic issues, you're better served by going to see a functional or naturopath because that's when we're looking at what is the root cause imbalance. And then I'm going to give you the protocols so that we can truly heal it. I'm not going to just write you a prescription to help minimize the discomfort with your symptoms. Why are you having those symptoms? Let's figure that out. Right. And so I'm, that I think makes people really different. So it's all about, there's some sort of weight gain. Chronic weight gain is a symptom. It's not just about binging on the couch watching Netflix. Weight gain is a symptom. Something's wrong. There's an internal imbalance. So when I work with my clients, it's about restoring any sort of deficiencies that they have on the nutrient side. It's about removing toxicities and inflammation that are causing issues and really getting to what can I fix for them. And then what I'm really happy about is I'm going to be having in-home lab testing as well, which I think is the next big wave. So you can truly go bio-individual in terms of the supplements. So what I give now, like I can help 85 to 90% of my people just by doing the protocols that I have. But it's that 5% that's making me stretch further, because personally, I've seen the results and the improvements in my health when I've had the benefit of a functional lab. It's absolutely amazing. So I can't wait to add that to my practice too.
Awesome. And you serve women all throughout the country, all throughout the world. It can be anybody who has Zoom, basically, right?
Yeah, my latest client is from Spain. Her husband, actually, I worked with her husband in GE, and two of my old teammates, they convinced her, yeah, you got to call Jen. You got to call Jen. So she told me that. She's like, you don't know me, but you know my husband. I'm like, oh, that's fantastic.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me, what has been your greatest success so far? I mean, I'm sure there are a lot, but is there one that just stands out?
From a client perspective or like a business perspective?
From a business perspective, what do you feel like you have just really nailed, but just been really successful at?
I think getting out of my own way. Mindset. If you're trying to be an entrepreneur and you don't address your mindset, then you're missing out. And because you're always going to come up against some sort of limiting belief that you might not even know you have, but it's holding you back. And so when you can confront that limiting belief, and then, I mean, it's like, wow, because you hit those upper limits. I'll give you an example. A book I'm reading right now, it's called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. I don't know if you've heard of it, or if anyone who's listening has heard of it. Phenomenal book. He talks about operating in your zone of competence, your zone of excellence, and your zone of genius. Most of us hang around in between competence and excellence. We hardly ever get to our zone of genius because we're hitting some sort of upper limit that we just can't break through. And so upper limits can be, things that you're just worrying all the time. So you're constantly just feeding that energy and feeding that worry, instead of saying, okay, well, is this something I can do anything about right now? And is this something that's putting me in physical danger? No? Okay, then you have to put it aside and you have to keep moving forward, right? So just as a small example, and again, that book is amazing. I recommend everybody read it. It's like 200 pages, but I swear every 10, 20 pages, I have to stop and just think, because he's bringing up such great points. So I think really getting out of my own way. And now I feel like I'm really, after, I put my LLC together, 2016. So I feel like I'm finally in my right lane. That to me feels amazing. And it just took me a little bit of time to really figure out what I wanted to do, because I was in core network marketing for a long time. And while I loved it, and I met a lot of people, there was something that was very unfulfilled in me. So now I just feel like, wow, I'm really loving the level of knowledge I have. I'm loving how I can truly solve issues for people. I'm loving my marketing. I love to create content. I'm excited about my offer. I'm excited about my scaling plans. I'm in my right lane. And for me, that is changing everything about how I approach my business.
How do you think you got there? Like, really,
constant work on personal development, trying to figure out where I'm going, constantly exploring things, constantly being curious, constantly being open to new ideas, to surrounding myself with the right people. It's like if somebody came to me today and said, I'm thinking about leaving corporate and doing my own thing. I don't really know what I want to do yet. I'd say, okay, this is what I think you should do. First of all, don't quit your job.
Yeah, you already said that.
Stay employed. But secondly, let's get your fundamentals right. This is something that like Brendan Bouchard teaches in his book, right? So get your fundamentals right. What do I mean by that? Go get your physical, get any test done, go to your dentist, start eating better, start working out, start reading personal development books, start talking to people who are doing well in the space that you're interested in, so that you can start accumulating all this information so you can kind of roll around in it. And then so you're just constantly taking action. You might not know what you're doing, but you're taking action to get yourself prepared, so that when inspiration does strike or the right opportunity does present itself, you are ready to take big action on it. You're not just like, oh, all this other stuff is a mess in my life, right? So get yourself situated. And the physical and mental is really important, because if you were feeling it like crap every day, how can you possibly expect to do well and perform well for yourself and your clients? You cannot. That's what I talk to my women clients about that all the time. You are pouring from an empty cup. And I know you hear it a million times, but please take it to heart, because you are on the cusp of burnout and you cannot keep this up.
I would think your business is booming from the sheer fact that I think since COVID, everybody seems, I think, more stressed today. Women are more stressed today. I find people's mindset is probably the worst it's ever been, and if you are going to be an entrepreneur, I think you're absolutely right that, we should have a good mindset regardless of whether we're entrepreneurs and be working on it all the time. But I think you're right. This is very isolating, that you're by yourself. You don't have a team like you were talking about for support. And so it's kind of all on you to do this. So what is next for your business? What would you like to do in the next year or 2 years? Do you have like a scale plan that you are looking at? Tell me.
Absolutely. So I am experimenting with a group program that I hope to run a couple times before the end of the year and get that finalized and do more group. Because I think when you're coaching, people always want leverage, right? You want leverage for your time, right? Mm-hmm. And so people will jump into and say, well, I should do a group program. Great. Yeah, you should. But have you ever coached somebody individually? How many have you coached? Do you have an offer? Is it successful? Are they getting results with it? You learn so much from your individual clients, and you take all those lessons learned, you take all those things, and then you think about how you can create a scalable offer, right? So for me, I've been working one-on-one. I have the concierge client relationship, and I love it, and I'll probably keep doing it because I love working one-on-one. But there are ways that I can format a group program so I can still have that one-on-one interaction, but create leverage. So that's definitely next. At some point, probably not next year, but the year after, I would love to start doing wellness retreats, travel retreats, which, oh my gosh, come on. I love them. Who doesn't love them? I'm going to go and I'm going to hang out with amazing women for 3 days and eat healthy food and, and swim and do yoga and talk about, all the stuff. I mean, that is just so fun to me. So I definitely want to do that. And then, of course, like I said, it's very important for me to evolve my practice and to incorporate all the elements of the in-home lab testing as well. So doing all that, so that's really going to be probably my 2-year focus, 2 to 3 year focus right there.
You've got big plans coming.
Yeah. Why not?
Absolutely.
Why not? It's fun.
Think big and, think big. And I mean, what's the worst that could happen? That maybe only 50% of them happen. Maybe just the group coaching, which would be huge, right?
I could grab a friend who's a yoga instructor and another one who's a Reiki instructor and me with the nutrition. And I could say, guess what? Next month, we're all going to Spain. We're going to Spain for 4 days. Who wants to come? And we'll just go. So I think people, in some sense, I mean, you have to evaluate risk. But in the other ones, don't get so hung up and overthink everything all the time. Nothing's perfect. Timing's never perfect. You just have to go out there and you have to do.
I think so. And I think that's a great last word, right? So tell everybody, Jen, where people can get a hold of you if they'd like to have a conversation.
Sure. Best, actually, I'm on LinkedIn. People, this is my home. This is my place. You're my people. So you can send me a DM. I'm always checking them. And I offer anyone who's on here, I'm happy to give a free consultation. We'll talk. I'll send you a form. You can tell me a little bit about what's going on. And then we just get on a Zoom together. And you explain to me, this is where I'm at. This is where I want to be. And then I say, okay, let's dig into that and figure out if my program can genuinely serve you and if it's going to fill that gap for you. And, my program, it's a signature program. It's 90 days. We work on 4 different pillars. We work on nutrition, hormone health, stress response, and body toxicity. And, I meet people where they're at. I take them all the way through. And then we kind of graduate with a great functional medicine detox at the end. And, when people leave my program, they've lost weight, they have better energy, they have a great tool set, they know what foods serve them, they know how to eat. I think a lot of people just forgot how to eat healthy. It's just too much craziness out there in terms of nutrition. And they just have a really, really great, stable foundation of health that can take them through for the rest of their lives.
So for everybody out there, I would highly recommend that you reach out to Jennifer on LinkedIn. Anybody who is a woman over 40 who is C-suite and very serious about getting your health, your hormones, your mind, body, and spirit back in alignment. Yeah. So will you come back and share whether you're off to Spain in with retreats or group coaching? Are you going to come back and share it?
For sure. I absolutely will. And it's been so much fun to talk with you. I mean, I love what you do. I'm looking more into what you do because you have to have metrics, people. You have to know where you're going. You have to look at your data, right? so don't be afraid of the data. Maureen can help you make sense of it, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Yeah,
well,
thank you.
Jennifer will definitely be returning. And for all of my small business owners out there, if you like conversations like this, I have rock stars every single week at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays. And if you would like to be a guest, please go ahead and DM me across Facebook and LinkedIn. I have an application for you to fill out, and I would love to hear your story. And I have an audience who would like to hear it too. For those of you who, business is not progressing the way you would like, and you're not converting customers the way you really, really feel like you should be because you're doing a lot of marketing, please reach out to me. You may just have a simple gap that could easily be filled and you'll be on your way. So let's talk about it. You can reach out to me at 8simplesteps.net. Jennifer, thank you so much for being here. And for everybody who's tuned in, thank you. If you're watching the replay, hope you liked it. Take care.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.